Good day everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs. Yeah, some days have passed, some time to work through the shock that this series against the Boston Bruins once again was for Maple Leaf Nation. I'm pretty sure about that. And yeah, I rooted for the Leafs to get over the Bruins finally, to win a Game 7, to make it into the second round again after last year. Not only because I had this picked in my bracket, but I really thought the Leafs would have deserved finally to do so. And they didn't. Once again, Game 7, TD Garden, Boston, Massachusetts, was the final stop in overtime, this time by a goal from David Pastrnak. What does the future hold for the Toronto Maple Leafs is the question today. As mentioned, some days have passed, the shock should be over now. Now we can talk seriously about the Leafs. And first of all, let's talk about the coach, Sheldon Keefe, who is now there for 3 years. He is a good coach, but is he still the right coach for the Leafs? Is he the right coach for Brett Treliving, the GM, who came in about 1 year ago, something like that, not too long. He didn't have that much saying in about how the roster is composed yet. Yeah, he signed the William Nylander extension. We will come to that later in the video. But I think Sheldon Keefe is gone. The Leafs need a new voice in the room. That's one thing that's for sure for me. But this cannot be the only change for the Leafs. Brett Treliving, as mentioned, GM for not that long. Formerly, he ran the Calgary Flames. Now he's with the Leafs. There are some challenges for this roster and this club because their draft picks in the next years, yeah, they do have their own first round pick this year, 2024, but then they come back for the fourth round. So no second round, no third round pick. They have 3 fifth round picks and 2 seventh. So not too much. In 2025, the first round pick they could have, it's just top 10 protected. If not, it belongs to the Chicago Blackhawks. And in case this happens, what we all expect to do, I do not expect the Leafs to be in the lottery next year. They come to draft first time in the 5th round. And they have their 5th, their 6th, and their 7th, and that's it. In 2026, they do have their 1st, they do have their 3rd, no 2nd, no 4th, and they have their 5th and their 7th. So the draft capital of the Maple Leafs is not too good. Yeah, they've been in the running. They tried everything in the last 4, 5, 6 years to get over the hump. It didn't work. They always ran into someone in Game 7. They gave up a lot of draft picks in order to try. It didn't work. So their draft capital is not big. What about their roster? What about their payroll? Because this is big. According to Cap Friendly, and I will put a picture on the screen now, the Leafs have about $18.5 million in cap space. Be precisely $80,533,333. They have spent so much money just on their forwards. Austin Matthews clocks in next year 13.25. John Tavares 11 for this one more year. Mitch Marner, 10.9 for this one more year. And the William Nylander extension kicks in next year for 11.5 for 8 years. That's over $45 million for 4 players. That's almost half. That is half their cap on these 4 players. The supporting cast forward, Tyler Bertuzzi, UFA. Max Domi, UFA. You have David Kemp for 2.4, Jan Krok, Ryan Reeves, 1.35. This really stands out to me as an overpayment. Jan Krok as well. You have Bobby McMahon signed for 2 more years for $1.3 million. And then you have a bunch of RFAs, Connor Dewar, Robertson, Noah Gregor. The big one could be Matthew Knies, not this year, but next year when he becomes an RFA. Pontus Holmberg, yeah, okay, supporting player, will never break the bank. But Matthew Knies next year coming up, he deserves a raise. And what do you do to replace Bertuzzi and Domi? They were not the most productive players, but they brought you something. some intensity, some checking, some sandpaper. Yeah, what do you do to replace these guys? You do not have that much cap space left, especially if you have a look at the defense and the goaltending. There's Morgan Rielly with $7.5 million until 2030. He is going nowhere. Brody is a UFA now, so the $5 million he brought are off the books. Jake McCabe for 1 more year. Timmins 1 more year. Cade Weber on the entry-level contract for 1 more year. And Benoit Simon is extended for 3 more years, so that works. But Lyubushkin off the books. Mark Giordano most probably retires. Joel Edmondson, they were rentals basically. And the big one here could be Timothy Liljegren being an RFA. He will also not break the bank, but I think he should get a raise. Maybe maybe $3.5 million, something like that. And then have a look at the goaltending. The only guy they have signed, still on his entry-level, no, it's not entry-level contract, but yeah, still at a low cap hit, is Joseph Woll, who should be their starter at $766,000, but he is the only goalie on the books for the Leafs right now. Samsonov, UFA, Martin Jones, UFA. The LTIR stuff the Leafs had running this year with Jake Muzzin, Matt Murray, John Klingberg, all these contracts expired or are expiring at the end of the season, so July 1st, they are off the books. No worries about them. Sorry, I have a little cold. I don't know what's going on. My nose is a little bit blocked, but we will get through this. Okay, what will the Leafs do? What should the Leafs do? They do not have the cap space to bring in good players. It's just $16 million and something. You need to re-sign your RFAs like Liljegren. Once again, all players that will not break the bank, but it sums up. And to replace the production that you got from Domi and Bertuzzi, because you might be able to sign one of these two, but not both. No way. The cap is going up, but it's not going up so much that the Leafs could do everything they want. And I think it's time to break up the core four. Nylander just signed the extension. He's not going anywhere. Austin Matthews, extension kicks in next year as well. He's not going anywhere. But what do you do with Mitch Marner and John Tavares? Both at about $11 million. John Tavares in his 30s. Production was down this year. Maybe you find a taker if you retain or throw in a sweetener. But what kind of sweetener? The Leafs do not have so many draft picks, and I'm sure they don't want to give away their first round draft pick this year in order to get rid of John Tavares' contract. Maybe you buy him out after July 1st as his base salary is just $900,000 for the next season. Everything else is a signing bonus. You pay out the signing bonus, then you can buy the guy out. What kind of relief this will bring you, I'm not sure. Cap Friendly states that if the Leafs would buy him out now, they would still be on the clock for $10.3 million for 1 year and then about $300,000 the next year. Does this change if they buy him out after July 1st? I'm not sure. Maybe this is a possibility to get more cap space in case if the base salary, the signing bonus is paid and then you buy him out. You are only clocked for the base salary. I'm not sure if this is an option. Trading him, as mentioned, could be difficult because of the $11 million cap hit and the no movement clause. If you want to send him to a team with cap space that's a non-contending team, maybe Chicago? I don't know if John Tavares would say, yeah, I'll go to Chicago. But a contending team, I'm sure he wants to have a Stanley Cup. Difficult, close to impossible because of the $11 million cap hit. Mitch Marner, this is something different because Tavares is 33, Mitch Marner is 27. He would have trade value. What could he get for Mitch Marner in case he agrees, because he also has a no movement clause and they're both UFAs at the end of the 2024-2025 season. But I think if Marner agrees to a trade to a team, maybe an upcoming team, maybe a team that is on the rise and where he could sign a long-term contract. Maybe Utah. absolutely possible. They do have the cap space. They do have the assets. Because I think for Marner, you net at least a first, a second, and a high-end prospect. Utah has this all. And they have the cap space to sign Mitch Marner to an extension. Maybe give him $12 million, $13 million. Cap is going up, and they do have so much cap space. This would be possible. Or even Chicago. Imagine Mitch Marner and Connor Bedard on one line. Frightening. This would be a possibility because Marner is 27. He has time left, which John Tavares does not have so much with 33 or 34 at the beginning of the next season. This will be interesting. But keeping the core four together, I think, is not an option. They do run out of cap space, and just imagine, get rid of Marner's almost $11 million cap hit. What could you do with that? Then you could sign 2, maybe 3 good players with the cap space remaining. And if one goes down to injury in the playoffs, it doesn't matter. You have still two guys more playing. If Marner goes down to injury in the playoffs, or Matthews, that's always the problem. As stated recently that Matthews got hurt by a hit in Game 4. So he didn't play for Game 5 and Game 6. The Leafs won both games. Interestingly, okay, just another point. Do you need so many superstar players if you win without them in the lineup? Because the rest of the team rallies around each other if there's not this one guy that is the guy. I think quite an interesting point as well. Anyway, I think the core four of the Leafs should be history. It will not be easy, but Brett Treliving has to go this road now, because the Leafs have shown over so many years now that they are not a true contender, that they do not have the assets, they do not have the strength and the power to win a Stanley Cup, to succeed in the playoffs. And that's what it's all about. With the Toronto fan base that have won their last Stanley Cup in 1967. So most of us were just born, we're not alive when the Leafs won the Stanley Cup the last time. Most of us do not remember that the Leafs once won Stanley Cups, the last time 1967. This story has to change. The Toronto fan base absolutely deserves it. They are great. They are full of passion, full of encouragement about their team. Yeah, this fan base definitely deserves a Stanley Cup. What can I say? This team in this position, in this roster structure, most likely does not get them one. Let's see what Brett Treliving does. As mentioned, I'm pretty sure he should break up the core four to balance out the roster better than it was this year. Then they might have a chance. Let's see whom he brings in and what happens. All right, that's it for this one. Let me know in the comment section below. What do you think? What should the Leafs do? I would be pretty interesting to hear what you have to say. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And next time up with the next hockey video, it will be this box from a hockey club in Germany. And there is a story to this box and to the guy on the jerseys and on the puck. I think fans of Eisbären Berlin and Adler Mannheim already know what I'm talking about. It will be this story, Lean Bergman. We'll talk about that in the next video and have some jerseys here in this box. Thank you very much for watching once again. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Talk to you soon here on the channel. Goodbye.